Harold was escorted out by 2 police officers. He turned his head to look at Charlie, and said angrily, "Charlie, is it because your rubbish framed us?" Charlie smiled and said, "Guess what?" Noah cursed loudly. "If you have the Wade, you will definitely get retribution. Sooner or later you will be slashed 1,000 times. The leading police officer scolded, "Shut up." Afterwards, a group of police officers escorted all the 4 members of the Wilson family into a police car and drove them to the police station. Elaine watched the police car drive away, dancing with excitement, cheering repeatedly. "Great, this dead old woman finally got retribution." Jacob sighed, and said to her, "Keep a little bit of morals, don't let her live or let her die, but she will be my mother after all." Elaine curled her lips. "Whoever you love, just don't live in my house." Claire, who had not spoken all the time, sighed and said, "Grandma is also very poor now, or let her live in our old house." "Lend it to her?" Elaine sneered, "I'm Pooh. Even if I buy 4 pigs and put them in, I will never let them live in." "You forgot how she treated us?" Claire sighed and said, "It's my grandmother after all, so I can't bear it more or less." Elaine waved her hand. "You don't have to overflow with sympathy. This old thing has long been owed by Noah and his family. This time, just let them go to the detention center to suffer." Speaking of this, Elaine said with regret, "It's a pity that I can't go to the detention center to see the desolate state of old Mrs. Wilson in the cell. Otherwise, I will take a video and watch it 20 times a day." Claire shook her head helplessly, and said, "Whether it's okay to let Grandma get some education, it's best to let her change her son." Speaking of this, Claire said to Elaine again, "Mom, if nothing happens in the afternoon, I will go to the company." Elsa on the side also said, "I happen to have to go back to the company to do something, or should we be together?" "Okay." Claire said, "Then I'll give it to you." Claire and Elsa cleaned up quickly and left in a hurry. Charlie sent the 2 to the yard and watched Claire drive away. At this time, Charlie received a WeChat message from Isaac, which read, "Mr. Wade, all 4 members of the Wilson family have been detained for 15 days due to provocation and trespassing. They have been sent to the detention center." "Good." Charlie replied, "It's done well." Isaac asked again, "Mr. Wade, is 15 days a bit shorter? Would you like me to do it and keep them off for a year or a half?" "No." Charlie replied, "They have been shut down for a year or a half. Instead, they have a place to eat and sleep. It's better to let them out and let them come out and feel the feeling of being on the street." "Okay, young master." Charlie put away the phone and saw Elaine throw all the luggage of the Wilson family into the rubbish can outside. The 4 members of the Wilson family have arrived home in misery. When they came out of the detention center, they would definitely not even have a change of clothes. While sighing, Elaine walked back after losing the luggage, and went straight to Charlie, and said, "Charlie, did your dad put all the money left over from buying furniture back into your card?" Charlie nodded. "Yes, what's the matter?" Elaine said angrily, "Give it to me, I want to use it." Elaine felt that as long as she talked to Charlie, Charlie would definitely not dare to disobey her. As long as he puts the money into her card, she can invite her good sisters to eat together. After the meal, the sisters arrange a show. This is the life of the upper class. Charlie immediately shook his head when he heard that she wanted money. "Mom, I can't give you this money." Elaine frowned, and blurted out, "Why?" Charlie said indifferently, "Now Dad is in charge of the money at home. If you use money, you have to make Dad nod." "What are you talking about?" Elaine said coldly, "I can't speak well now, am I?" Charlie nodded and said, "For money issues, Dad must nod." Elaine said annoyedly, "You don't take Jacob out to press me. I tell you, I am your mother. If I ask you for money, you have to give it to me." Charlie smiled and said, "I can give it. As long as Dad nods, it's okay to give it to you." "You." Elaine was so angry that she pointed at Charlie and asked, "Do you have to go against me?" Charlie asked in return, "Mom, Dad will take care of the money in the future. You said this by yourself, not me. Am I not also implementing your decision?" Elaine gritted her teeth and said, "Don't talk so much nonsense. Quickly give me the money, have you heard?" Charlie stretched out his hand and said apologetically, "Sorry, Mom. If Dad doesn't nod the money, even if you kill me, I won't give it." After speaking, Charlie didn't bother to talk to her anymore, and walked back to the villa. Looking at Charlie's back, Elaine was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. She wanted to find Jacob and ask Jacob to say hello to Charlie, but after another thought, she gave up the idea because she knew that Jacob would definitely not agree. This old guy is better than Charlie now. Not only does he refuse to listen to her words and follow her, he even asks her to get on a board, and he wants to separate with her. At this time, she is asking him instead of taking it for herself. Shame?